This one's gonna be a mess. So y'all remember at the end of the last video, I said I had a nail in my tire, right? Girl, well, I thought that I was just finna roll up. It was gonna take the nail out, patch up my tire. I was gonna pay like $40, $50 and just drive off. Hell no. I get here. The man comes out. He looks at my tire. He pulled out the nail. And speaking of the nail, y'all look at this. The nail looked like, girl, the man said, he said that this is a roofing nail. It looked like a bottle cap with a nail stuck through it. He takes it out and then he comes like with this water bottle and he's spraying my tire. If there's a hole in your tire and air is escaping, the water will bubble. And I was like, oh, okay. So I started looking for it too. And I'm looking in the spot where he pulled the nail out. He was looking somewhere else. He was like, I don't think it penetrated. I said, yeah, I did. I said, I heard the hissing of the air escaping the tire. He said, you do? I'm looking like, yes, sir, I hear the hissing. I said, oh, here it is. You can patch it, right? And he's like, no, you can't patch him right there in those spots. I said, what? Girl, look at this picture. So this is how you know if your tire can be repaired or if you have to replace it. We get in there and he's like, oh, well, I only have one tire that'll fit your car. Yeah, it was well over the price I was used to paying for a tire. And he was like, and then we do the service fee and then we have the tire balance. So you're looking at a total of $197. I said, $197 for one fucking tire? I said, absolutely not. I was like, you already took the nail out of the tire. So it's not like I can just drive around, price check. He was like, but I mean, I knew you were going to have to get the tire replaced anyways. So I took it out. And I was like, At first, I didn't think he planned it. But now I'm like, motherfucker, you planned to take that nail out that tire, didn't you? And so he took off like the $30 service fee, I think. So all in all, I ended up paying like $160 or like $167. It was $167 I didn't intend on paying. It is what it is, you know. Shit happens and you got to deal with it. I don't know. What do y'all think? Do y'all think he took that nail out on purpose? So I went to the Skydeck Tower. The tower itself gives you a 360 view of all of Chicago. You actually get to walk out onto the ledge. And let me tell you something. This thing had me shook a little bit. When I tried to walk out, I looked down and my heart dropped. I said, ooh, shit. I immediately jumped off of the ledge. I was like, hold on. He was like, I said, hold on. So what I did was I turned around backwards and I was looking at the people waiting in line and I walked backwards onto the ledge. And now here is a montage of all of the views that I saw. after the Sky Deck Tower, I wanted to see some greenery. After seeing all the buildings are literally on top of each other, like they are so close, I am used to more greenery. In St. Louis, we have buku parks, but we have 3 main parks, and I'm closest to one of the best parks. Tower Grove Park is actually across the street from the Botanical Gardens, so I visit both often. Our best park has to be Forest Park, and Forest Park includes the St. Louis Zoo. I have quick access to both. I'm used to driving through the park on my way to work in the morning. I'm used to driving through the park on my way back. I'm used to driving through the park to go to the food trucks. Chicago, you do not see much greenery. Well, let's go to a conservatory. I'm glad I went. It was only $10 to get in for non-residents. Yeah, I probably spent 3, maybe 3.5 hours here. As I was walking through the desert house in the conservatory, girl, a lot of these cactuses reminds me of the clickers from The Last of Us. That looks like the little top fungus part on the clickers. And then it was this one, man, when I tell you that thing looked like the, oh my God, what's it called? The bloater? Yes, like the one that was in the Kansas City when that truck crashed into the house and it sunk into the ground and all the infected that was drove underground shot up. If it was just a little bit more thicker, it could be the bloater.